All right, let's start. One more study of Genesis today. So, welcome everybody, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon. If you're gonna see this video after today, not leave. So, yeah, let's start with the prayer. And Alva, could you make a prayer for us?
So let's start this meeting by thanking our Father for the past week, for today, for the opportunity we are receiving of studying to learn more about His creation, which we are part of. And let's connect with our spiritual benefactors, all those in spirits who are here to study with us, to inspire us, and also thank our Master Jesus for the opportunity that we are having today to be gathered with Him, because He promised us that whenever 2 or 3 gathered in His name, there He would be. And so we invite you, Lord, to be with us during the next hour of learning, of discussion about the topics we are about to study. And we ask you to bless us all with your love, to keep us in safety and enveloping all of us present, physically and in spirit, in your loving energies. And I ask you, Lord, to protect us too from all of those who may not wish to give us this opportunity to concentrate and to link in with you, and ask in your loving energies to also bless those who may be not ready yet to participate in this meeting. And so we begin this meeting in your name, Lord, and in your safety. Thank you. Which is actually a lot easier to see today, Andre.
It's because we changed the platform. The last study we did on Google Meet, and this one is StreamYard, so I think this is better.
Yeah, it is a lot easier to see on this this screen today.
So, do you remember where we stopped last week?
Yes, I think we stopped on the paragraph where it finishes with science. It's the paragraph where I think we stopped where it says science orders the spiritual principle.
Yeah.
So it's on page, this is on page 11. So.
Yeah, that's it. No. So we're going to start from the solution lies in the reciprocal action. That's right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So the solution lies in the reciprocal action of spirit and matter. It is true that the solution takes away the supernatural character of most of such phenomena. However, which is better, to accept them as resulting from the laws of nature, or to reject them outright? Rejecting them outright pulls out the very foundation from under the building, whereas accepting them, eliminating only the accessories, leaves the foundation intact. That is why Spirit is misleading so many people to believe in truth that they had previously considered as utopias.
Yeah, I think we can stop there and make some comments. I think Kardec was referring to the phenomena, the natural phenomena that happens with us, and previously the humanity was thinking that all the phenomena was a miracle of God, and separating all the phenomena from the science. So when he starts to say the solution lies in the reciprocal action of spirit and matter, it's true that the solution takes away the supernatural character of most of the such phenomena. So many phenomena that happens in particularly the phenomena with the communication with the spirits, it was considered supernatural, something from magic or something like that. But when we take the supernatural feature of this phenomena, so he was in the in a crossroad, so he could just separate and eliminate the supernatural, as I say, accept them as a result from the laws of nature, or to reject them to outright. So he was in a crossroad to accept them as a law of nature or reject them all. It means he was looking at the phenomena, the communication with the spirits, all the things happening, and he thought, yeah, if there is science over there, we can we need to fall we need to find out in which law, natural law, all those phenomena are inside, or we can reject everything, start from zero, from scratch. So it's not science, it's not supernatural, it's not anything that we need that we have seen until now. So, and then he said he rejected them outright, pulls out the very foundation from the under the building. Which building he was talking about? The science. So if we rejecting everything that happens before would be destroyed. Like many phenomena that happens with Jesus, Moses, and all the spirits that came to the earth until that at that time. And they say, whereas accepting eliminates only the accessories, which is the it's interesting, because when we don't know something, we create a lot of explanation that is not true. It's a lot of folklore, a lot of stories, a lot of fairy tales, because our mind needs to connect things. Our brain doesn't accept gaps. So if you have something happening over here and something happening over here, and there is nothing in the middle, our mind is going to build something to connect to them. And most of the time, this connection is not real. It's something invented. It's something that was created from the imagination just to connect both sides and create just like a bridge between the two. That's why today is so common. People believe in fake news because they don't need to study, they don't need to go inside information, because they just create a conspiration theory that connects both sides, and for them and for their brain, everything is satisfied. So that's why Kardec was very careful when he founded the spirit phenomena and the real life, the science. He needs to connect both. And the connection was the science, the philosophy, and the religion inside the doctrine in spirits. So just to conclude my idea, that's why Spiritism is leading so many people to believe in truths that they had previously considered utopias, which means before, many people, scientists, people, serious people, was not accepting all the accessories, which is the explanation with magic, supernatural, or something else that was not true. And the Spiritism came to fill up this gap between the spirit world and the science, and make a connection, a real connection, a true connection between those two sides. You can talk, Lindau, if you want, or Richard.
Okay.
I think you have mentioned some words there, Andre, which is, I think you said fake news, didn't you? And we can still see today, quite a while after Kardec brought the Spiritist teachings to us, that a lot of people are still choosing to carry on believing in the same things they believed at those in those times. Although we see that the sciences today, they have evolved so much, and in the science we know that the Spiritist teachings are far ahead from the sciences that we have today, to explain to us the phenomena that we experience in the world and in our lives. But some people are still choosing to not to believe them. And I think the other thing that you have also mentioned, which I think is really, really important, is because when we accept things, we need to work on ourselves, isn't it? We need to change. And there is a huge, I think, change that takes place when we have, like, let's say, walking, being lost, and then we find our way. And so we need to learn a lot about all that new way, all that new path that we have found in front of us, that we need to, that is going to take us where we want to get. And so I think a lot of us, a lot of people are still believing that these phenomena that they believed in the past, that they were supernatural, that they were miracles, they still do it today. And the same way that when we see a lot of things happening that we know they are true, and there are the fake news alongside that, a lot of people are choosing to believe the fake news because they don't want to study. They don't want to employ any time in understanding what is going on properly, so that they can be responsible for their choices. Because it's very easy for people to keep in that place and then blame, isn't it? Blame it on God, blame God, blame nature, blame everyone for what is going on, rather than understanding and taking the responsibility to learn that we are interfering all the time with all that happens around us.
Yes, yes, Linda, but that's why it's so important for the spiritists to study and to educate ourselves in order to, prevent any kind of misunderstanding, which is it's common for the human being, just because we are really keen to believe in fantasies. It's very easy for us to fall down in lies, just because the fantasies that we our mind creates is very easy for us. It's even a pleasure. It's satisfying, it's enlightening for us to believe that something supernatural or something that's not true would happen. This is a good thing when this provoke our curiosity to learn and to get more informed about something. But it's bad when we just are lazy and accept everything without questions. So that's very important for all the spiritists to learn, study all the time, and questions everything. So make questions is very important. It's vital for any people that is following or chasing uh, the wise, the wisdom. So there is no way out to learn something new if you don't ask questions, if you don't doubt of something. Kardec says it's better to reject 99 true than accept one lie. So it's very important for us to be aware and stay alert all the time for the information that comes to us, even inside the spiritism, because we know that most of the spirits they can communicate, they can talk, but most of them don't even know the spiritism. They didn't have any contact with the spiritism, and probably they don't know the science, because when we die, it doesn't mean we learn from the day to the night. So it's very interesting that some people think, when I die, I'm gonna be aware of everything. I'm gonna be I will know about the science. I will know about philosophy, math, science, astrology, and everything. But that's not true. Once we die, you're going to stay the same stage you are. So it's very important to everybody knows that it's vital for us to learn while we are incarnated. That's the true story. When we are incarnated, we are learning more than in the spiritual world. This Kardec said, and the Spirit said, you have more opportunity to learn when you are incarnated than disincarnated. So I know this is a matter, it's a subject for another study, but it's very important to keep in mind that the death doesn't bring wisdom, doesn't make us wise. So yeah, that's it. So we can continue to read.
As we have already stated, this work is a supplement of the applications of Spiritism from a special point of view. Its contents have been ready or at least prepared for quite some time, but the time to publish them had not yet arrived. The ideas that were meant to form its basis had to reach maturity, while on the other hand, the appropriateness of the circumstances had to be taken into account. Spiritism harbors neither mysteries nor secret theories. Everything about it must be clearly stated so that each person may judge it with a full knowledge of the facts. However, each thing must come in its own time in order to arrive securely. A solution given slightly before a complete elucidation of the issue would be a cause of delay rather than advancement. Regarding what is addressed herein, the importance of the subject obligates us to avoid all hasteness. Carry on.
Now, just a comment about this paragraph. Is that, as we have already stated, this work is supplement to application of Spiritism from the special point of view. Its contents have been ready or at least prepared for quite some times, but the times to publish them had not yet arrived. There are more information, yeah, that we are not prepared to receive. I can. Sometimes I wonder how much information it's it's there to be reached. So until now, we have a lot of technologies, as we talked before. Right now, we have a lot of technologies and science and everything that we, for example, they send telescope to the space, and we can see far galaxies, stars, planets, and everything. But at the time of Kardec, many of those things was not even inside imagination. Not, for example, the travel to the space, to the moon, satellites, cell phone, computers, medicines, all the apparatus that the medicines use to identify and make a diagnosis. Many of those things evolved from there to now. So I can imagine it. At that time, to talk about all those things to the people around would be a really shocking things to speak. Try to explain people how we could talk to someone from distance, and from one side of the world to another side of the world without any phenomena, any spiritual phenomena. It was incredible difficult to the people to understand that. So that's why many informations are kept until the time to unveil. So most of the time we are trying to find something or try to learn something, but this information is still kept unveiled just because we are not prepared to understand or digest, let's say that. So that's very important. But at the same time, Kardec says the spiritism is not a mystery doctrine. Everything is open for everybody, but we have to be humble enough to understand that we are not prepared to know everything. So most of the thing that comes, we need to get time for us to be prepared and to learn a little bit more. and also we goodwill to check that. So if you don't do anything, it's impossible to learn. So if you stop learn, stop study, stop everything, so this time the things are going to take more time to come to us. So it's a dilemma. We need to push to get close to the real knowledge, and everything that's not stated yet by the spiritism, it's because we are not prepared to learn. But everything that was already done, we are prepared, and we need to understand. We need to study and have the total see the total scenario and see and be aware of everything before next step.
I was here thinking about the timings, isn't it? And I think this is something so important, isn't it? Because when we look at the history of the when man was introduced to God, and when Moses received the Ten Commandments, and we know that during that time when the human beings that were living at that time, they knew God, but they knew God in a different way. That they knew that God was a punitive God, a God that would send his children to hell, and it was a very negative sort of father figure, isn't it? It was a God that wasn't very very loving. And then when Jesus came, and we know how the time that it took for Jesus to come and bring us some new ideas, to live through, to go through all that, to change to try to bring to something new, to change the the attitudes of the people, of those people. And then Jesus brought us a lot of new ways of knowing God. He didn't say to us, don't do this, don't do that anymore. He said, this is what you need to do. And in his examples of what we needed to do, he introduced us a loving father, a father that loves all of his children equally, a father that forgives all the time, a father that asks us to forgive even our enemies. And so Jesus put all of that into practice. He sort of that was his life while he was here with us. And and I was just thinking, that was over 2,000 years ago when Jesus came to visit us, and he called us, he led us into this new way of living, and how much of those teachings are we able to follow today? It's still very hard for us to teach, to follow Jesus. We are every single day trying our best, but we are not there yet. It's going to take, we know how that this is going to take us a long time for us to master, to live the way Jesus wanted us, expects us to, or is guiding us towards it. And then what Jesus gave us like a little example with his own experience about the life that carries on, because even in that aspect, a lot of people still choose to believe that Jesus resurrected rather than that he materialized himself to show himself to those who could see him. And then he gave us a little bit of an example with his own life, that we carry on living, that we don't die. He was telling us, don't fear what you go through in order to reach freedom from the material things, from the material ties that we all have, because you are going to survive it. You're not going to die. And then when Spiritism came, and then Kardec talks about time, Spiritism, about this book, he said it had to come at the right time. And then again, Spiritism comes and sort of follows up the teachings of Jesus. And then it teaches us that we are a family, why we need to love one another, why we need to forgive one another, and also explains to us this relationship that we have with what we know, what we call the spiritual world, which is the unseen. And for a lot of people, it's very hard to believe in things they can't touch and see. But the Spiritism explains to us perfectly how that is possible. And so I think we have a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to, a lot of new things to get used to, a lot of change to do. But I think also Spiritism is not rushing us. Spiritism tells us everyone evolves, and we all evolve in our own time. No, God is not saying, listen, you're just going to live this life, so you need to do everything now. Spiritism tells us that we have infinity. And so I think this thing with time, of course, we need to work. We need to try to carry on trying our best to learn more about ourselves, isn't it? Because we need to take responsibility for ourselves, because God has given us free will, has given us these, has given us choices. So we need to apply what we are learning to change our lives, to change the way we live. And so I think this, the thing with time, even with the sciences now, Andre, we know that all the sciences that have evolved, especially with technology, we know how everything can be used for good and for bad as well. And I think this is one of the reasons why things need to come at the right time, so that we have more chance of using it for goodness rather than for the wrong reasons.
Yes, and this Punisher God created by the humanity before Jesus and after Jesus also. There are many people that thinks God is a bad father that split the children between bad and good, and send one group to the one place and another group to the another place. When we believe that there is no death, and there is the time between the birth and the grave is just a stage, and everything continues after that, this kind of beliefs just disappear. There is it doesn't make sense to believe that we live forever, or we are immortal, let's say that, and that punishing place, which they call the hell, or the delightful place that they call heaven, uh, it's just lose the sense. There is no sense to believe on that, because we're going to repeat and reincarnate all the time to be on the earth and back to the spiritual world. So that's why it's so important, the Spiritism, to give us hope and to understand that there is justice in God. Because if you cannot do anything good in this incarnation, probably you're going to do another, or another. So as you said, we need to evolve in our own time. So there is no rush in Spiritism. There is no rush in God, because God is eternal and exists from forever, never, always exists, and always will be. In this case, for him, there's no rush. So if you evolve in this incarnation, that's okay. It's good. Congratulations. If you don't, it's not a problem. You're going to have plenty of chances, and in one of that, you're going to get your target. You're going to go to do your aims. So in this case, as you said, at that time, to explain all those philosophy and characters and features and understanding, it was a little bit difficult. So just a few part of the humanity were able to understand that, or to start to see something inside this information. But most of them was so crude, so raw, that they needed to fear something. That's why the religion at that time was based on fear, on a God, a punisher God, a God that was not benevolent, benefactor, was really angry all the time, because it was what they understood. And most of the people right now, nowadays, believe in a God like that. They fear to go to the hell. They want to go to the heaven after that. But with the science and all the progressing we are doing in the human science, we are getting points that we are not going to believe in that anymore. Some of them, when get exposed to this reality or this truth, they became atheist. I don't know how to say the people that don't believe in God. Is that atheist? Atheist? I think in English
Sorry, it's atheists.
Atheist. So
Yeah.
most of them will become atheist. Some of them will become spiritists. And some of them will be so confused that they will not stick to any other religion. So this is the the situation that most of people are find themselves nowadays.
Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
read one more paragraph.
Okay. Before embarking upon the subject matter per se, it seemed to us that we should define the respective role of the spirits and the individuals involved in the work of the new doctrine, discarding any idea of mysticism. Such preliminary considerations are the subject of the first chapter, entitled Character of the Spirits of the Spiritist Revelation. We would ask for serious attention regarding this point, because in a certain way, It is the crux of the issue. We stop here, or do I carry on?
Yeah, let's stop there because we are almost there on 45 minutes, and there is important information in this paragraph. So Kardec was really concerned about the mysticism involved in the spiritism. And most of the spiritists still are involved in mysticism, which means they link it and they bond all the phenomena with objects or images or places or most rituals, something like that. It's not rare to see many spiritists making rituals, turning off the light or singing music or seeing images or something like that. It's not necessary for any phenomena. The phenomena, the spiritist phenomena, is really natural and may occur in any time, anywhere. And other thing is the mediumship that can create some kind of mysticism, which some people make some movement or dancing or something like that to attract or evoke some spirits. This is mysticism. And for example, we need to put some flowers or cover the table with white cloth, or we need to put some water. None of that. It's necessary for the phenomena. Some of them are accessories. For example, the water. It's for fluidification, which means it's really good. But there's no need to put a white cloth on a table to be in a space, confined space with flowers or images or something like that to get the communication. Another thing is the phenomena doesn't happen if the medium doesn't want. Most of people are afraid that the mediumship, because they think the phenomena can happen anytime when they want, but the medium is on his body and it's responsible for any phenomena. He needs to control everything. He needs to control the way he speak. He needs to control the way he behave on the phenomena moment, and that's why it's very serious for us as spiritists to understand this kind of information, because there is no mysticism in the spiritism. The communication exists, the interactions between the incarnate and disincarnate exist, but the control of the communication is under the medium, the incarnate people. That's true and very vital for any of the people that want to study the spiritism. Most of them think the phenomena can happen anytime and anywhere, and I cannot control. And just because I'm a medium, the spirits want to talk and can talk anywhere, in any place. This is not true. This is it's a miseducation person that is not able to control the impulse of the mediumship, and most of the time are obsessed by a spirit that are communicating. So this is the mysticism and the spiritism must be completely destroyed. Let's say that. It's a strong word, but that's it.
Yeah, I think that is a very good point. And if it wasn't, Kardec wouldn't have mentioned it, isn't it? Because we have been used to the mysticism, isn't it? For many incarnations, we have done we have performed these rituals, and it's not easy to just get rid of rituals, isn't it? Because it's like the not having a complete experience for some people who are used to that, isn't it? And I think that you have mentioned about mediumship and how people who are mediums get information and can link with the spirits. And really, sometimes I think people think that they need to become nearly a slave to the spirits, isn't it? And not realizing that we are our own personality. We can say no. We don't have to accept communications at all times, and at any time, anywhere, because we also have we have free will, isn't it? We can say no, and to learn that, we need to study, isn't it? To understand that, we need to study. But this is the hard part of it again, isn't it? Is that studying takes time, and I think some people, they are also they don't realize how important it is for us to study and to learn how to keep ourselves safe, in safety, and to understand how this phenomena happens, isn't it? And I think this is a very important subject for us to understand, because more and more, Andre, we hear about people who are mediums and people who become quite who have a lot of problems because of their mediumship is all over the place. And so I think this is a very important topic.
Yeah, and as everybody is a medium, and most of the time the spirits are using this mediumship to do something good or bad. And sometimes people are getting involved in a confusion without any perception, and without realize what they are doing, just because they said something wrong, or they said something that sometimes we're not prepared to receive. And most of the time it was inspired by the spirit, that he said something, and the spirits know that will affect the other people.
Mm.
And in the end of the day, these people that said something is in trouble, and he doesn't know why. Just said something. Why did they say that? Why didn't just shut up and avoid to say those words? And if I could turn back in time, I would never say that again, or I will never do this again, or I will never get involved with this situation again. So most of the time, as Kardec and the Spirit said, we are driven by the Spirit more than we can realize. So this is very important to study. As you said, it's difficult. Study is something that takes time, and it's, for us, it's still something that make us tired, and it's bored sometime to get a book and read all those letters together. It's better go to some place and get some amusement than study. But just studying, we're going to create a shield that will protect us from all those kind of situation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
So let's finish here. Carry on to the next. Which one, Martha?
Just a moment, just to be more.
So it's our daily bread.
Blue.
The blue one, the middle.
Yes.
Okay. Thought and life. Right, so I'll open again because I left something inside. So I've opened on a message called association. If a person could see the currents of thought around him, he would recognize that we all live under the principle of affinity. Affiliation is the desire to associate with one another. It presides over all events and commands the existence of all beings. I don't know what this name is, Democritus, the Greek philosopher who lived long before Christ, affirmed that atoms, which are invisible to man, group together like pigeons flocking around a source of food to form matter as we know it. Today, as we begin to discover the essence of the microcosmic world, we can visualize the atom as miniature solar system. The atom's nucleus is the main focus. The electrons are like planets revolving in a gravitational orbit. On the plane of the greater life, we see suns attracting worlds in space by virtue of the interaction. Just one moment, please. On the plane of the greater life, we see suns attracting worlds in space by virtue of the interaction of electromagnetic forces that are in the universe. So it is in ordinary life. The soul enters into resonance with the mental currents of souls who are in tune with it. We assimilate the thoughts of those who think as we do. When we feel, visualize, speak, or act, we are in tune with emotions or ideas of all other persons, incarnate or discarnate, who are on our wavelength. We are constantly attracting or repelling mental energies that attach themselves to us. They will either strengthen us for good or for evil, according to the direction we choose. If anything we do or plan, or any opinion we give, we are always the sum of many people. We are the expression of thousands of persons, and thousands of persons express us. Desire is the lever that acts upon our feelings. It generates the energy we use in accordance with our will. Whenever we dwell on the defects of others, the mirror of our mind immediately reflects, and we, so to speak, absorb their depressing images. Our imagination then begins to digest this kind of nourishment. which is later assimilated by the delicate tissues of our soul. Often, as time goes by, our soul tends to express through the body that which it had assimilated. This takes place either through the carnal body on earth or the spiritual body the soul uses after death. That explains why those who criticize others will generally end up practicing the same deeds they have condemned in them. Their interest and involvement in the minute details of evil cause them to unconsciously absorb its emanations until one day they find themselves dominated by its forces. Every shady crack in our personality is the reflection of a greater shadow. Like an infectious spot that is neglected can become a deadly tumor in a few hours, slander can hurl us into vices, and habitual anger can lead us into madness or crime. When we think, talk, or work, the power of our ideas, of our words, and acts reaches instantly a potential commensurate, which the number of persons, incarnate or not, who agree with us. Such a potential tends to increase indefinitely, returning to us the consequences of our own acts. Let us therefore always seek goodness, always help, learn, forgive and love, for by so doing we will reflect the laborers of light and thus perfectly solve our relationship problems. Wow. Unbelievable, isn't it? How much information there is in this little message. And I think it's sort of, it ties in with some of the comments you have made, Andre. And isn't this true? We today can understand this so much better, isn't it? And also understand why Jesus led us to doing good all the time, because he knew that our actions affect us, isn't it? And also, if we are, whatever we are doing, we are we are not even by ourselves, but we are with many people. If we stop a little minute and even try to think how much that can affect our world, isn't it? If like we have like if we watch television all the time that talks about bad things, if we watch the news that are only talking about bad things, and if we imagine all of those people that are there together, all that energy that they are creating, it has a huge effect on our on the energy of the planet. And on the other hand, if we are like today, we are gathered together, studying, we are learning, we are practicing goodness. We are together too with all of those who are doing the same thing that we are doing today. And I think that is it's a very enlightening sort of thought, isn't it? It's really good to know that we are not alone in whatever. I think, especially if we are doing something good. It's good to know we are not alone, that we are with the many people who think alike, who are already trying to distance themselves from the shadows and are seeking light.
And we are responsible for the group we are inserted. So there is no way to complain what we have around, because we are responsible for that. If we are inserted in a community or in a group that there are just low vibration and bad thoughts and do bad things, it's up to us to move out, just leave behind, and try to find out another group, another place, another kind of people to make to have a relationship. And because everything is it's associate, as the text says, it's associate from the atom into the cosmic. So we have the choose to go to a bad group or good group. It's up to us. Oh, this is good. Also, it's as you said, it's a enlightening information that gave us hope that we can improve everything around us. Or if you cannot improve, just move out and try to find another group that you know it's we can cope with.
Yeah. You're gonna say something?
No, just agree.
Yeah, I think this message really closed the meeting very, very well. So let's connect once again. So let's connect with our Master Jesus. Call him again and thank him for the opportunity that we are having to understand the reasons why you work so hard, Lord, to lead us into goodness, into practicing charity, loving one another, forgiving one another, because this is what our Father expects us to do. As we have just learned that we are connected with those who are doing the same things that we are doing, we would like to think about in our spiritual mind all the brothers and sisters who are gathered together at this time to pray, thinking about good projects to change the world by changing themselves, and also those in spirit who are gathered with us, who are working towards creating a world of more charity, more loving people, more peace. And let's imagine these waves of thoughts of goodness enveloping our planet with all of its inhabitants, all of them, those who live in the forests, who live in the waters, in the space, in the skies. As far as these waves of good energy can reach, especially encouraging those who are feeling lost, who have lost faith, or who are feeling that life is not worth living. Let's bring them into these loving waves of thought, of energy, so that they may receive the nourishment that they need to carry on. And as we wouldn't be here studying Spiritism if it wasn't for Kardec, who have worked so hard, tirelessly, with his wife, so that today we can understand what is expected from us as members of this universal family, not just those who are incarnate, living the physical experience, but also part of the family, the spiritual family. And so we thank you, Lord, once again for the opportunity we have received today, for all of the brothers who have come here, who have come to this group today to inspire and help us to understand the teachings today. And we ask you, Lord, to bless our coming week, to guide and protect us, not just us here, but all of our brothers and sisters who are here with us and in need of guidance. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
All right. Lovely meeting.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Galva. Thank you, Richard.
No, thank you. Martha, you need to start commenting too.
You need to start. She's so shy. She's speaking English in a good way, but she's so shy to start to speak that she says after me to say I should speak that. I knew that it was right. So
yeah,
so
you
so
need
late.
to, Martha.
It's too late.
Okay.
Cheers.
See you
Bye.
next week. Bye. Bye.